Are you ready?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the James Whale Radio Show. Well, there we are. Welcome to the programme. James Whale with you again for another hour of I'll do that again. Another hour of fun-packed radio programming. Rob is on the case.
I'm on my chair.
Robbo.
Yes.
You're on the what?
I'm on the chair. I'm not on the case.
Oh, on the... Yeah. And to all those people, first-time listeners, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Whichever way you joined us, we have an hour of conversation. Later, I'll be doing an unashamed plug for an old friend of mine, Peter Straker, who's a singer. He was in the original cast of Hair. He was a very good friend of Freddie Mercury's as well. And he's got a show on in London, which I'm going to chat him up, see if I can get some tickets to go.
Sounds nice.
It's expensive to go to a show now, you know.
Well, we should put on a show, you know.
Oh, yeah. Why don't we do an evening with James Whale and Rob?
Yeah. More you than me, though.
Get Tony Tobin, my mate, the chef, to do a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody interested, get in touch.
Okay.
Whose house can we do it in?
Tony Tobin's, by the sound of things.
Yeah, he's got a big house. Yeah, that's a good idea. Why don't we do that?
He's got a big dining room.
Anyway, he's got what?
He's got a big dining room.
Yeah, that's his restaurant.
He hasn't got a dining room in his house?
No, he just goes into the restaurant to eat. Anyway, it's not a really good week, is it? To be honest, it's been an absolute crap week. We were talking about that, actually, as well, later in the programme. We'll be interviewing a man who's going to make his fortune out of dog shit. Or maybe I should say dog poo.
Yeah.
Maybe in the edit, I should say dog excrement, because I don't want to offend anyone.
I'll pick one, whichever one stays in.
Yeah. So, you decide. It'll be down to you. Tara, what is going... I don't know. I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days, since that tragedy of that poor pilot being burnt alive. It's almost like we're going back to the Middle Ages, isn't it?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I mean, just appalling. Absolutely appalling. When you listen to this programme, there may well have been repercussions. Who knows? But there has to be some kind of sense prevail in this world before we all just swallow ourselves up. I'm just absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. Actually, leading on from that, I don't know whether anybody saw the Stephen Fry interview. It's been very hot on social media. It's been on Twitter and Facebook. It's been everywhere. And Stephen Fry was doing an interview with Gay Byrne on Irish television down in Dublin. And he was asked by Gay Byrne what he thought God would be like. Now, Stephen Fry doesn't believe in God at all. He's quite open. He's completely irreligious. Sometimes, I think that's worse in a way than saying, of course I believe in God. Of course, why wouldn't you believe in God? And I sometimes think that's a bit ridiculous because we don't know. Nobody knows. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody knows, as far as I'm concerned. But then I suppose that's because people who say there is have got a faith, and then people who say there isn't have a faith as well. I mean, I'm open-minded. I don't know. There could be. There couldn't be. I'm not sure. But I have to say that when Stephen Fry answered the question, it was a fascinating piece of TV. I don't know if you saw it. Gay Byrne asked him what he thought. If, he could pretend to believe in God for a minute, what sort of God do you think it would be? And he said, well, I think it would be the most appalling God ever. And I'd tell him so. I'd say, what about children with bone cancer? What about that? How does that work out? And what is all this about you wanting to get people to bow down and worship you? What is all that about? Surely if there was a God, I would tell him what an awful, appalling person he is for treating human... And it went on and on like this. And Gay Byrne's face, I presume Gay Byrne must be a believer, just was a picture. So we put this out, Rob, did we, on Facebook, didn't we?
Yeah, you put it on Facebook, yep.
And we got loads and loads of response, thousands really, but we've picked out a few. Dean says, Stephen Fry's bang on. Gay Byrne's face was like someone who had farted and accidentally followed through. Oh, dear.
It was, though.
Jackie Wright, hello, Jackie, said, we need more people like him. Nikki, Gay Byrne needs much therapy after the reality check he was meted out by Fry. It seriously was. Sandy, hello, Sandy, says, I would have to ask on meeting a god, which one are you? Yeah. And Yvonne says, I adore Stephen Fry. I'm finding myself agreeing with him as I listen. I'm a Catholic girl, by the way, have always believed. Don't know if I could stop believing at this stage in my life, but Stephen has said what all people who have faith must ask of their God. I most certainly have. It's interesting, Yvonne. I think that's one of the most sensible replies I've heard on this. By the way, if you haven't seen this interview with Stephen Fry, if you haven't seen what everybody's talking about, we have put it on Facebook. So if you go to James Whale at Facebook, you know how to get there. That's how you will find it. Ken Brown says, totally agree, Stephen's bang on. Madeline says, absolutely, Stephen Fry, so articulate, what nonsense people believe. I think we may have been some accidental form from where, who knows. Chris Higgs, Stephen Fry is spot on regarding the God delusion. Manon Williams says Stephen Fry is a very wise man. I agree with every word. Cole McKees, it's what I've been saying for a while, says Colm, but not quite so articulately. And Bev, so well put as always, Mr. Fry. And yes, the interviewer's face was a picture. If you haven't seen it, go to our Facebook wall and have a look. I have to say, there doesn't seem to have been anybody who thought that Stephen Fry was talking nonsense, does there?
Certainly, it doesn't seem that way, no.
Unless, we didn't look hard enough to find a few. You should have found a few dissenting voices for me. I haven't got time. I can't find dissenting voices, can I?
No, but there wasn't any.
Wasn't there?
No.
All those people who got in touch and there wasn't one dissenting voice?
Not one.
Next week, I want somebody with a very passionate faith on the programme, so that I feel I've looked at it from both sides now, as Joni Mitchell would say.
Over my head.
Yeah, probably. Right, I'll tell you what. Talking. What was I talking about?
Stephen Fry.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about toilets in a bit, but why don't we get out? We've got a couple of interviews on the program today. Let's get our first one up here, who is Gary Downie, who is the CEO of a company called StreetKleen. Now they have a very interesting business plan. Should we have a chat with him first?
Yep, I'll call him now.
You are listening to James and Rob on the James Well Radio Show.
Now, I have to say this next subject was handed to me by Mrs. W. Well, actually, she hands me something similar every day when I go and clean up after the dogs. Gary Downie is the managing director, Gary, of StreetKleen.
Yes, I suppose that's fair to say, James, yes.
Now, just for anybody who hasn't heard of StreetKleen and what you do, you've been... I first found out about you from my wife saying she'd seen you on Twitter and saying what a great idea it is. Tell everybody what StreetKleen does.
Well, we're an organisation really came out of Glyndŵr University, and we have been researching the social, environmental and economic impacts of domestic dog waste. And as a result of that research, we have been tasked with developing new products, processes and services that can help mitigate those impacts. So we're developing...
I'm sorry to laugh, Gary. I think over the years that I've done radio programs, one thing that is motivated to get people going is this very subject. You just need to bring it up and everybody is on the phone. I'm just amazed it's taken until now for somebody to cotton on to the fact there must be money to be made out of it.
Yeah, I mean, they do say that there's money in muck. So hopefully that is what we're looking to do. But you're absolutely correct. I mean, it is a huge issue, and then it is one of those issues that people get emotive about because it should be something that we currently treat it here in the UK as a bit of a dirty inconvenience. But there are steps, there are projects. If we just have a little bit of joined up thinking about it, we are now developing various different pieces of technology that can help reduce this and make it a thing of the past, because we all aspire to live in the cleanest communities that we possibly can. And it also, dog waste is having I think there is a huge research base now that is linked to quite significant health risks in humans, but also to livestock also. So developing these products, processes and services are key to a sustainable future.
Now, I was, in my young days as a Welshman, I suppose on my mother's side, I spent a lot of time in Wales. Now, you're getting money from the Welsh government. Do the Welsh have a particular problem as far as this is concerned?
Not at all. I just think that when we first started as a company, obviously our ideas were very innovative, and that was got us on the Welsh Government's High Potential Start scheme, and then the support that we've received from the Welsh Government has allowed us to go on and identify and research what's used elsewhere in the world to overcome this issue that we are now putting into practice. We've generated jobs in the Welsh area. Our main base is in Denbighshire, and this is all about, I think, the Welsh Government want to identify themselves, especially the North Wales coastal regions, as a jewel in the North Wales tourist coast. And I think that working with us, we can help overcome and eradicate this problem of dog fouling so that everybody benefits.
Well, interestingly enough, my producer Rob, who is in the well, figuratively speaking, you could say he's in the next room to me and you, Gary. But as you are in Chester, I'm in the south, and Rob, where are you?
I'm in Bangor, North Wales.
Well, how about that? So, and you just got a new dog, didn't you, Rob?
I did.
Yeah. So it's like, Gary, it's like this was meant to be, isn't it?
It is. It is a path that was surely to be trodden on. Pardon the pun.
Right, now, you've developed this new bin for putting the dog waste in, because I think we're all quite good at picking it up now, aren't we?
Yeah, I think people are driven by the sense that it's the right thing to do. I think, obviously, how they go forward from that point of disposing of it in the best possible terms, the best possible way, should I say, is something that remains open to discussion, but...
Yeah, but hanging it on trees whilst you're taking the dog for a walk doesn't really work, does it?
No, it is one of those things that get people the most irate, is why go to the bother of picking it up, putting it in a plastic bag, and then either discarding it in the nearest tree or in a bush. It's something that we see popping up all over the places, and it's really based on behavioural psychology, really, of either being a lazy git or the acceptance that people are not going to walk about with a bag of poo hanging from their wrist for too far. So they'll be looking to dispose of it. And if we can accept that, then we can put together strategies and interventions that can be used to stop that from happening. Again, a little bit of joined-up thinking.
And so your new bins, and we'll put some pictures of them on our website so people can go and have a look. Have you got a promotional video?
Of the bins?
Yeah.
I don't think we have. We have several photographs of them, but we don't have any of our video of the bins. No.
How do these bins differ then from the sort of bins that we have at the moment?
Well, what we're trying to do, the whole idea with the bins is to try and engage with dog walkers and dog owners out of their slumber of subconsciousness. The whole idea is to try and separate the problematic waste stream. The bin has quite a clever method of rather than putting it in with other types of waste, It has a bit of a pathway where if you hang the bag and you can feed the pathway, thread the bag through and then drop it into the bin. It's really quite a clever way of making sure that these bins only accept dog waste, that we can divert this problematic waste stream away from landfill, which is in pursuance of the European Union Landfill Directive, and we are subsequently developing a system, an anaerobic digestion-based system that converts dog waste into usable energy.
So how long before we see these dog bins all over the country? I mean, are they only in Wales at the moment?
Well, we're still looking for. We're just in the. We just started off manufacturing them now. I was at a meeting this morning with Warrington Borough Council, who were quite keen to try them out, and we're going back down to London to speak with Barking of all councils in the coming weeks, who also expressed an interest in the bins, but also the dog waste DNA program, which we're launching also.
Well, Gary, listen, I'm a big fan of what you're doing, and who knows, before long we can all be heating our homes, cooking our food, running our TV and radio stations, all on dog excrement.
You never know.
Gary, good luck to you. We'll watch with interest how StreetKleen proceed.
Much obliged.
Thanks very much.
Would you like a free audiobook? Our friends at Audible are giving everybody a free audiobook just by going to the James Well Radio Show website, jameswellradio.co.uk. All you need to do is click on the Audible link, register, and you'll get your free audiobook. It's a bit like a book club, and remember, you can leave at any time and you still get to keep your free audiobook. So what are you waiting for? Just head over to the James Well Radio Show website, jameswellradio.co.uk, and click on that Audible link now.
There we are, Gary Downie from StreetKleen. That is a brilliant idea, isn't it? Think of all the dog mess all over the place, particularly in Wales. I used to think of that when I had my holidays in Porthcawl. I think they cleaned it up now a bit, but it used to be just appalling. I think we are much better. You don't tread in it as often now as you used to, do you?
I think I trod in it about 6 months ago.
Did you?
Outside a pet shop.
Oh. Well, people have to pick it up. And, of course, before long, do you know, I did a program years and years ago on the television about how much dog excrement there was picked up in London every year. And it's a small mountain.
Not one I'd want to climb.
No, but, you know, what a waste of a resource. And then we go into all the sewage system of London and all the human excrement, which could quite easily be used for heating cities, towns as well, couldn't it?
Well, we'd all have to stand around a big pile of poo.
No, it all gets treated. It'll get turned into little cubes of stuff you could throw on your fire or can be burnt in power stations. Anyway, on this very same subject, have you ever gone into the wrong toilet? I did this on one of my other radio shows the other day, and what a funny response. Because let's face it, we've all gone into the wrong toilet at one time, haven't we?
Yes.
I'll tell you mine if you'll tell me yours.
Okay.
Well, go on.
Sorry, I thought you were going to tell me yours first.
No.
I've done it a few times, usually in pubs, because there's no signage on doors, and you sort of have to guess. And you go in, and the only way you realise is when there's no urinals, and it's all just stalls. It's all flowery in there, all very nice and flowery, flowery wallpaper.
And it never smells of urine, does it? When you go into the bog, in the gents' bog, it stinks.
It does a bit, yeah.
Men are pigs. I'll tell you my funniest story. I've told this before. I was on an intercity train coming down from, I think I was coming down from Leeds down to London one day. And I went in to go into the toilet just before it got into, I think we were just outside London. And I walked in, and there's a woman sitting there completely naked. She'd obviously not locked the door, and she was in the toilet changing her clothes. I mean, I just turned around and walked out, obviously, covered in confusion, not as much confusion as she was covered in. I sat there thinking, she didn't come out of the toilet. we got to King's Cross, I thought, I wonder if I should knock on the door and see if she's all right. I didn't, actually. I thought, no, she's probably just waiting for everybody to get off the train. How embarrassing.
So they have male and female toilets on the train?
No, they're all the same, aren't they? But, she just happened to be in there when I walked in. She hadn't locked the door properly. That's getting slightly off the subject, I suppose. Yeah, but lovely. A new campaign out called Bog Standard. Want to make sure signs on toilet doors are understandable, because they say a lot of people end up going into the wrong toilet. It doesn't worry women too much. It usually embarrasses men, but women do it on purpose. In nightclubs, when everybody needs a pee because they've been drinking so much, there's never that many in the gents, but there's usually a queue outside the ladies. So apparently most women are quite happy to go into the men's. I wouldn't feel the same way myself.
I had an incident with a unisex toilet once.
Did you?
Yeah, I went in and there was all these girls hanging around. It was like a middle section and all the sort of cubicles around the edge. And I walked in and there was all these girls putting makeup on. And I thought, what's going on here? And I didn't realise it was unisex. And I went back out and I stood there for about an hour outside thinking, I've got to wait for all these girls. And streams of girls are coming out. And I can't go in there. I can't go in there. I
don't know about you. I wouldn't be able to go with women in there.
Just whistle.
No, I wouldn't be able to. Funnily enough, Christina got in touch because we've had a lot of Facebook response on this as well. Christina said, at Sofia Airport, long queue versus no queue at the men's. I had a Satsi hat on. What's a Satsi hat?
Stasi?
Stasi hat. I can't read the writing. Stasi hat on. And encountered no problem at all. David St. John says, I went into a ladies by mistake and was having a piddle. Woman walks in and says, this is only for ladies. Me turning round with evidence in hand. So is this, madam. The old ones are the best, aren't they? Pamela says, yes, I've done it so many times that I stand outside and think, which one? I went in. Men's at airport once, didn't know till I was on my way out and a man was coming in. He then thought he was in the wrong loo and he came out as a bit like you. That was... Kevin, he said, there will always be those times when the nearest toilet is the best option, regardless of what gender they belong to. We've all done it, haven't we? We have. That Judith, Kevin and Judith are saying, she says, when it's urgent, any loo will do. They are both the same and have the same function. A toilet is a toilet. And Carol says, James, I went into the men's toilet here in France. I was mortified. Well, you shouldn't be, Carol, Madeline, because in France, that most of them are, I was going to say bisexual loos. That's the wrong term, isn't it, really? Most of them are cater for everything.
Universal.
That's a word I was looking for. Universal. Yeah, they're universal loos. Very nice. A very nice universal loo. Now, I've just time to tell you, of course, as you know, we have a little deal with Ford for me to test new Ford cars. I'm driving the new Ford Ranger, which is a pickup truck. And we'll put some pictures out. I don't know if anybody's in the market for a pickup truck. I tell you what, it's a beast. I nearly need a ladder. I'm quite tall. I nearly need a ladder to get into it.
It does look big.
Well, it is big. I've only got it for a few weeks. It's okay, but they delivered it, and if you see the number plate is JWX.
Really?
And so now everybody thinks I've got a personalised number plate.
I've got one.
But yeah, you've got everything like that because you're kind of very wealthy. Because you're a producer, aren't you? And you make all the money.
Yes, I make all the money. Yeah.
I just do it because I can't shut up. So anyway, the new Ford Ranger, anybody wants to ask me any questions about it for next week's programme, please get on and do that. We haven't done any adverts. Go to our shop at jameswellradio.co.uk and you can see all sorts of things we have for sale there. In this cold weather, you might need a vest. you can get a James Well T-shirt with a logo on, which will make a very nice vest.
Sent out a few last week.
Yeah, and get a copy of my autobiography. You can get a free audio copy of it as well. Just go on to our website, jameswellradio.co.uk. All is there. And if you want to get in touch, of course, you can email me, jameswellradio@gmail.com.
James Well, James Well, James Well Radio Show.
You know when people often do interviews and they say, "Oh, he's just on there to plug something." Well, right. This is my friend Peter Straker. Say hello, Peter.
Hello, James.
and this is an unashamed plug for a couple of performances Peter is doing in London. Well, you tell us when they are.
Yes, it's Valentine's weekend on the 13th and 14th of February, which is next weekend, not this weekend, and it's at the St. James's Studio, 12 Palace Street, SW1, and it's a thing called Black Magic, Peter Straker's Black Magic over Valentine's.
Very good.
So there you go.
Now, this for those people who didn't know, about a year ago, you came on this program. We had a long chat about you, your life and times.
Yeah.
And we've been mates. I was thinking about this. We first met in the 70s in Newcastle, didn't we?
That is right. When I did one of your other radio shows, when I was doing a series of concerts there, my first set of concerts, my giddy aunt, that must have been 1975 or 76.
Yes.
Oh, God.
We were young, enthusiastic, vibrant people, weren't we?
Yes. What has happened? I'm still young and vibrant, actually.
Yeah, me too. I made that up. We haven't met before, have we? Hello, I'm James.
No, my name is Peter Straker.
Now, listen, although this is in London, I'm making the effort. I'm getting up and I'm going to this concert on the Friday if people are coming along.
Yes, you are.
And I can guarantee that if you make the effort to get to the capital and come along to this concert, you better be quick. It's a small venue, isn't it? About 200.
Yes, they seats 120, and it's lovely. And the nice thing about doing this this show is that, for me, I've tried it out once only, and that was in Edinburgh at the festival last year. And we have a live 5-piece band, so that's what's so exciting. Because sometimes when I do the other shows, like Jack Blair and things, it's just with a pianist or just 3 of us or 4 of us. But this is a proper little rock band as well. So I just like it. I'm doing a whole lot of songs that I wrote with my producer and best friend Michael Allison from old albums that we did years ago, which my friend Freddie Mercury produced, and so I've never done before until I did again for years, and some songs by people like Mick Jagger. I'm doing Sympathy for the Devil, which is one of my favorite songs, James, and I've never done it before, and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting, and little bits of magic, because it's called Black Magic. I do the odd little trick.
You do magic? You haven't got the patience for magic.
Well, I'm learning. So I've had Darren Lang, who's a magician. He helped a lot, and Paul Keeve has helped me with some of the little tricks. I mean, just simple things, but it's getting better. So I'm quite pleased about that.
Peter was in the original cast of Hair, and I think your entrance to the show was, you were naked, weren't you?
Well, no, not quite. I wasn't quite naked.
Oh.
I was brought in upside down on a pole, and I just had a little loincloth on with the stars and stripes over it, and that was it. So but I wasn't naked. I can't say I was completely naked. But
will you be redoing this on the 13th and 14th of February or not?
I won't be brought in as a sacrificial lamb. No, not to the slaughter. But we do a song from Hair as well. So now that you've mentioned it, so yes, it's quite an eclectic mix of music and styles, and I hope it's very entertaining. I want to entertain people. I want them to laugh and cry and have a joke and just enjoy themselves.
Will you be doing anything that Freddie Mercury made famous or not?
I am doing a Queen song, yes, as it so happens. Yes, and it's the first time I've done a Queen song in public as well. So, yeah.
You appeared on records with Freddie, didn't you?
Yes, I did. He did when he did the first album, which we did was called "This One's on Me." He helped me because he produced it with Roy Thomas Baker, and who was the Queen producer at the time, and he did some of the backup singing on it, which he wished to do, and you can actually sort of hear him really because he's got such a distinctive voice. But I mean, I was thrilled that he did that, and on some of the Queen things, I did some of. Not many, but some of the backups occasionally. I think about 3 or 4 albums, which I can't remember. And I do remember Brian saying years ago, I think Flash Gordon soundtrack. Brian said, we'd have to take your voice down because it's so distinctive, it doesn't sound like Queen. So we put you right in the back. And I said, oh, well, that's all right, I'm still there, so that's okay. So, so yes, I've worked with them on and off. It was quite good fun. Really. And
so, will you have any of your famous friends coming to watch you over the weekend, or?
Apparently, a couple of people say they're coming, but we can't say who they are because they might not turn up, and it'd be rather dull.
We'll have a drink afterwards. Look after yourself.
Thank you so much, James.
And I will talk to you soon.
Yes, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
So there we are. That's an unashamed plug for my mate Peter Straker at the Victoria Studio. Did he say the Victoria Studio? He did, or didn't he? We'll find out where it is, so you can all come along. Well, you better ring and make sure there are some tickets. What did he say? 120.
Yeah, very small venue. Yes.
Yeah. But it's listen, if you like a night out and it's great music, he is fantastic. I know he sounds like a bit of a lovey, but Google Peter Straker. He has had an amazing life. He has the most amazing voice as well, and I think you'll love it. From funk, soul, rock, jazz, a bit of opera. He'll throw it all in, and it'll be a very entertaining night. And he gives a performance. Let me tell you, Mrs. W said he's the most attractive man she's ever seen. Well, actually, that was before she met me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could come too if you want, Rob, but you're going to have to buy yourself some new clothes.
Really?
Yeah, you can't come just dressed in the stuff you normally come dressed in.
But I've had this stuff for years.
Yeah, I know, and it's about time you changed. Oh, we've not mentioned Tony Fisher.
Have we not mentioned
for a while?
Him?
No, he said to me, listens to the programme, of course, on his way to the radio station he works on with me occasionally, and we hadn't mentioned him. So, Tony, sorry about that, mate.
Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, Tony, we'd do an interview with you, Tony, if we could find the time to squeeze you in.
He's a very busy man.
Now, shall we crack on with any questions?
Yes, we'll do any questions. I've got some questions here.
Okay, well, why don't we do that? And I think then we're probably more or less finished, haven't we?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Ask the whale anything. I am your oracle. Ask me anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Susanna Seals.
Yes, hello, Susanna.
James, what is your opinion of what came before the Big Bang of this universe?
Well, actually, before any Big Bang, there has to be a certain amount of courtship, doesn't there? So before the Big Bang, there was a certain amount of, well, just getting to know each other, you know, different fragments of what later became the universe before they got as far as the banging. There had to be some kind of, well, you know, some sort of courtship process.
The big foreplay.
I beg your pardon?
The big foreplay.
The big foreplay. Yeah, the big foreplay. Exactly. That's what came before the Big Bang.
John Roberts, can I have the winning lottery numbers for Wednesday?
No, I've already done that.
Yeah, that's true. You'd be halving your winnings, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Jackie, where did my last Rolo go?
It's just stuck under the left-hand leg of the sofa, but unfortunately, I think your cat may have eaten it.
And if you haven't got a cat, you've got a stray going in your house.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, so they're not very expensive, Jackie. Pop out and buy yourself another packet.
I haven't had a Rolo for years.
I wondered what you were going to say then.
Becky, if you could meet your 16-year-old self, what advice would you give?
Grab on tight and enjoy the ride.
Okay. Chris, what is the most romantic thing you've ever done?
What is the? I don't think I'm a romantic person. What is the most? Do you know? I think you've nearly stumped me there. Got out of bed very quietly so as not to wake Mrs. W.
That's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
Pete wants to know: do you actually reply to any of these questions?
No, Peter, I don't. I just ignore them, screw the paper up and throw it in the bin, obviously.
Okay. Jane Hall, an oracle, I see. Okay, well, I have a question. Why do deaf people speak with the accent from the country or region they live in?
I'm not sure that that's absolutely right. Do Americans have an American who are deaf who've never heard American? I'm not sure that they do, unless it is by lip reading that you form words in that particular way. Do you know, it's something I've never thought of. And I wonder, it might well be that there is a certain amount of hearing sometimes on some deaf people where they get an idea of the accent. But I think probably it is down to the way the mouth forms the words when you're lip reading.
I know that animals have regional accents.
Yeah. And my dogs are both Scousers.
Andy Harris, why do fish float when they're dead?
I think you'll find everything floats when it's dead.
Is that the answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
But only then after they get waterlogged, they sink.
True. I'll go with that, yeah. I'm sure it's to do with gas. A lot of gas gets built up in the body when you die.
That's right. That's why they float. But then it all expels, and they get saturated, and they sink. Every living thing floats when it dies.
And dead things fart. Simon, do aliens exist?
And so does the hair grow when you're dead, and so do your fingernails.
Well, that's dead already.
Yeah, but it still continues to grow because it feeds off what's in the body.
Interesting stuff.
Who said I wasn't an oracle?
Jane Hall. Right. Last one. Dave Starr, the future of radio. What will happen when all analog transmitters are closed down?
Well, I think, Dave, the future of radio is right online, and you will be listening to radio. I don't actually think... I mean, DAB is very important to all broadcasters at the moment, but I think in, I don't know, 10, 15 years' time, most of us will get our broadcasting via the internet. You know, we'll hear it on our computers, we'll hear it on our iPhones, we'll hear it. That's how we'll hear it. Internet radio is huge in America. Most radio is listened to on the internet. You have internet radios in cars in America. I mean, you know, internet radios here, you have a mobile phone and you can pick up a radio service on that. Or if you're an iPhone, that comes via the internet, doesn't it? You can go out now and you can buy an internet radio, or you can get an app for your phone or your iPad. I think a lot of it will be done by app, and I think a lot of listeners will listen to individuals rather than radio stations in the future. That's the way it's going to go.
The phone radio can only be via Wi-Fi. It can't be. There's no radio pickup in a phone or a tablet. It can only be done by the internet.
Exactly. And that's the way people have to realize. I mean, obviously, a lot of people listen in their cars. Not that many people listen at home anymore. They listen while they're on the move. They might listen at home if they choose to listen. I wonder where... it's interesting. I wonder where most people are listening to this. What are you doing when you're listening to this program? Why don't you send me an email to jameswellradio@gmail.com and tell me. I'd be interested, Davey. Thank you for that. So whoever said I didn't know about everything, I mean, obviously wrong. Obviously wrong. Robbo, let's test you. Let's see how good you are this week in the ever-popular feature on the James Well Radio Show. It's Tech Talk.
Tech Talk.
Do a bit of go. I'll go. Tech Talk.
Tech Talk.
Yeah, there we are.
That's
a jingle.
Well, that's it.
So,
are you ready,
Robbo? I'll just sitting here, Rob, just waiting for you, mate. What's in the Tech Talk tutorial today?
This week I'm going to talk about webcams.
Ah, you've been doing that again, have you? You get caught, you're going to be in trouble.
Last week I had a bit of fun with some new webcams that we were playing with. I think I put a video up. Did you see the video I did with the tracking?
Yes, I did. I watched it for a couple of minutes and then I thought, what on earth is he doing? You're moving around to see whether or not the camera follows you, but we've only got your word for that. It could have been some bloke just pointing the camera at you, couldn't it?
It could have been, but it wasn't.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. So my tech tip this week is if you use face-to-face calling like Skype, most cameras on most laptops are just about do the job. So my advice is to go out and buy a second camera, because you get all the cameras in HD now with their own internal microphones, and they do so many cool tricks, like the one I was playing with the other day that was following me around the room. What are you doing?
Well, my studio's unpowering itself, so I was just sticking in a little more power. There we are.
Wow.
And now I'm powered up to the max.
There we go. So, yeah, webcams. Go and try some webcams out. They're really, really cool.
Yeah, but they're very expensive, aren't they? I mean, you've got to pay a couple of £100 for a webcam.
No, they're about 19 quid.
19 quid?
Yeah.
High definition webcam that you can actually film yourself doing stuff on.
Yes.
Yeah, but let's give a little word of warning here. Be very careful what you do. And also, there is the possibility that if you leave your computer on, people can hack into your computer and get to see what you're up to if your camera's on.
That's very true. What? You're getting into this tech talk now.
Just because I tell you I don't know something about something, don't believe it.
Don't think that the camera in your laptop is all that's available. There are far superior cameras out there for very little money.
I mean, it's like when you get a television, isn't it, with built-in Freeview.
Mm.
You get built-in Freeview, and it's never as good as the Freeview boxes you can buy.
Yeah, they're always very slow and clunky when you're going through the menus. Mm.
And also, when you get a car with sat-nav built in, it's never as good as... Well, I have to say I like TomTom best myself.
That's a bit old-fashioned, isn't it, TomTom?
Is it? What would you think?
Google.
Google? Mm. But the ones built into your smartphone or your laptop, you'd rather have those?
The one that you use a phone, just put your phone on the dashboard.
Yeah, but that comes from TomTom, doesn't it? It's all TomTom technology.
No, it's Google. Google.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Google Street View, when they went out with all the cars.
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you have a sat-nav and you want to find somewhere.
Yeah, they've converted all the data from that into voice navigation.
What, do you get somebody... Make a U-turn when possible.
Yeah. Google Maps.
At the roundabout, straight on, second left.
Yeah, that would take me into next door's car park.
You have reached your destination.
If I wanted to go to next door's car park, yeah.
Actually, there's a little money-making scheme. Listen, guys, anybody who wants me to voice their sat-nav, just let me know.
You've got an iPhone. Try it. Google Maps.
Yeah, I will. No, yeah, I, that's a good idea. I should, shouldn't I?
Mm.
But I do. My TomTom, you see, I know where everything is on that. I just have to. It's easy to use.
You talk to your iPhone. You press the button. You say, "Take me to."
Well, yeah, that's fun. That's quite fun too. Because I often say, "Take me to," and then put in places I know that they won't have any idea.
I bet Google does.
I'll try that next time. Take me to on Google Maps.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try that. So anyway, that's good. So we're all going to get webcams. We can all do our own high-definition television shows now.
That's the thing, you see, with face tracking and all this sort of stuff following you around the room. You don't need cameramen anymore.
Well, listen, if you go to Sky News, as I do from time to time, you'll know that most of the cameras are operated remotely.
There we are.
And you can see BBC use that technology as well. So on their news programmes, most of those cameras are robots.
Or maybe we should have a go at putting a TV programme together.
Well, could do, I suppose. I don't think anybody would be interested, but we could have a think about it. I think we've almost finished this programme today, haven't we? I seem to have been rabbiting on for a long time. Quick reminder to those... Just a minute. Whalers talking. A reminder to those of you who want to get in touch with the programme, of course, you can by dropping me an email to jameswellradio@gmail.com. And we'd like to thank also our friends at Talent GB for putting us out. And if you would like to be on the programme performing, we say from time to time, if you'd like to come and play some music for us, get in contact with us via Talent GB, and we could have you on the show in the next couple of weeks. So if you're somebody who thinks should be reaching a bigger audience, then get in touch and we'll see what we can do. Reggae bands. I've always wanted reggae bands, and we've never had that many reggae bands.
We had one.
Yeah, that's what I mean, not many. There's a demise of reggae music now. I mean, just have a think. UB40, they did reggae. There's no reggae, no ska, no blue beat.
Who was the one that did Parts the Dutchie on the left-hand side?
That's not what I would call reggae, but okay. Those were musical youth, and now they're musical middle-aged.
I think they've been in touch, you know.
Have they?
I think they've asked if they can come on the show.
Oh, well, if they can, get them on. But don't tell them I refer to them as musical middle-aged.
Okay, I won't.
All right. Okay, well, let's head into the titles. Thank everybody for tuning in this way. We'll see you next week. And don't forget, if you're one of our new followers, then go to the website at jameswellradio.co.uk. You can listen. There's over 60-odd hours. Over 60-odd hours of me just talking rubbish. Some interesting guests. We're heading towards an election. Nigel Farage is up there. Boy George is up there. Loads of other people who I can't remember all of them. All sorts of people. There's a chap up there, Dr. Richard Lawrence, talking to people from other planets.
There is, yes.
We've got a medium on, haven't we, as well? Way back at the beginning. Didn't we have that medium on?
Yeah, we had a wedding planner.
Wedding planner, yeah. We've had everyone, every sort of guest. If there's somebody you think we should have on as a guest, famous or not famous, another call to us at jameswhaleradio.co.uk would be a great idea. In the meantime, keep listening.
Bye-bye.
Have you gone?
No.
I've gone.
Have you?
Yep. I'm off. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the James Whale Radio Show. For more information, visit www.jameswhaleradio.co.uk. Why not check us out on Facebook.com/James Whale Radio Show, or follow James on Twitter @The James Whale. James Whale, the voice of reason.